Okay, we're going to start. It's 7:01. Calling the regular meeting of the Richmond Board of Education to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Margaret, if you could please read our mission and vision statement and take roll.
Our mission statement: at Richmond Community Schools, we provide a quality education that empowers students to be successful in a global community. Our vision statement: to foster a culture of academic excellence, creativity, and character, ensuring that all students are prepared for success in an ever-changing world. Roll call: Mrs. Michon.
Here.
Mrs. Sutton. Here. Mrs. Gillis.
Here.
I am here. Mrs. Cunningham is on her way. Ms. Fortuna is absent with notice. Mr. Steyer is absent with notice. You have a quorum. We have with us our two student board representatives, Elizabeth Schaefer and Kelsey McNamara. And to our viewing audience, we would like to welcome Kelsey McNamara here as our student board representative for this year. It is their first meeting. Welcome. We're glad you're with us, Kelsey. Yep.
Thank you. This time I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Support.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Support.
Thank you. Mr. Walmsley.
Okay, you have in front of you a revised personnel report that was updated literally today after the board packet went out. There are no layoffs listed. There are some new hires. Mrs. Brzezowski, first grade teacher at Lee. Mrs. Dillard, floating cook in the food service department. Ms. Ford is the JV varsity volleyball coach. Ms. Isman is a lunch aide at the middle school. Mrs. Misko is a math computer teacher at the middle school. Mrs. Smith is a K-5 music teacher, and Mr. Stryker is the middle school assistant football coach. There were some members that we recalled. If you recall, that on the personnel we had to follow contract language, so we recalled Mrs. Dietland, Mrs. Friedman, and Mrs. McCarty. There were some resignations from positions as they took other positions or left the district. Mrs. Crampton being moved to the high school or taking the high school counselor job. She resigned from the middle school student government, and they will be filling that one. Ms. Krasowski, GSRP associate teacher. Mrs. Stolecki, our first grade, who was replaced by Mrs. Brzezowski. Mrs. Van Scooter, one of our paraprofessionals, and one of our PM child care, Mrs. Olivia, which is what we call this morning. With some of those recalls, you'll see they decline the recall. So by contract, when you decline a recall, it's a voluntary termination, which is why they're listed there. And then you'll see several appointments. The most recent one, or the one in yellow, Mrs. Grabsky, she's still on recall from the general ed, but she took a special ed para program, so we're on June sports. And there were no questions regarding the minutes from August 11th. That's it.
You don't have a head count?
Yes, we do have a head count. The one that you have, I was just quickly looking at it because I got an updated literally Sarah as we walked in. From the time you got your report, kindergarten, we're up another 22 students in kindergarten.
Good.
First grade, we're down one from that report. The second grade, we're up one. Third grade, we're up one. Fourth grade, we're up two. Fifth grade's the same. Sixth grade, we're down one. And seventh grade, we're down one student. But eighth grade, we're up 3 students. Ninth grade, we're up 2. 10th grade, we're up 1. 11th grade, we're up 1. 12th grade, we're up 3 more students. So we are slowly increasing over what you had in your work. Kindergarten, or excuse me, preschool, we are at the maximum number of slots. We have 66 GSRP students. We cannot approve any more until the state approves the budget. they don't know how many slots the state's going to get. We have families that want more slots, but I can't put them in preschool. So we are offering them the half-day 4-year-old all day and just delaying their first payment till October. So if we move them out of that program into the GSRP, hopefully they'll see budget soon. It's as seamless as possible. Numbers in 3-year-old are up. Numbers in 4-year-old are up. Or 4-year-old.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Wormsley?
No question, but I just wanted to say that it's so nice to see Mr. Pacito back
Yes.
in our robotics program. Very good to see that.
He's actually doing both programs, the first tech and I always get it mixed up. There's 2 in the middle, so he's doing both.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is our Blue Devil Raids. Get organized. Okay, Candace, I'm sorry, I'll wait because I know you came in. Margaret, anything for Blue Devil Raids?
Yes. I want to rave to thank the Richmond Rotary offers up their Red Barn to organizations that can make money if you work the Red Barn at the Armada Fair. And the Richmond Education Foundation was given the chance to do that, and I want to thank staff members who came out and worked it and helped the foundation raise money. And Brian and Cynthia, Deb and Candace, Kelly Shum, Marge Solden, and Gallagher and Kathy Guinea, thank you very, very much. It's hot and sweaty, rain poured in us sideways, but we really, really appreciate that you guys did that for us. And then, Mrs. Michon, I have a rave that you know from Sandy.
Yes,
She's not here
yes,
tonight.
she told me.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to read, Sandy is on a cruise to Alaska, so I am reading her rave. It says, I would like to rave about our district and what we do for kids and families. Our district provides all the needed supplies to our students that they will require for their school year, as well as essentials like tissue. This is the 3rd year that we have been able to do this, and it saves families money and helps take some pressure off of students. This is unique for a district to do, and we have done it. Thanks to the years we have had in getting our district in a great fiscal position. This is also proving to be helpful this year due to the state not having gotten around to approving a budget. Not only do we continue to provide supplies to students, but we are also more secure than a lot of our surrounding districts due to the great work that is done by Mr. Walmsley, our business office and administration, and this Board of Education. There are a lot of other districts that are taking out loans or are unsure how to cover payroll right now, and Richmond is prepared to start another successful school year in spite of what is going on in Lansing. We should be proud of our district for these things that we are able to do. That's it.
Thank you for sharing hers. Okay, Danielle?
Yeah, I attended this morning the opening day ceremonies, if you want to call them that. But I had a chance, Candace and I actually had a chance to talk to the new music teacher at the elementary, Mrs. Smith. And she is a bundle of energy and seems like she's going to be an awesome fit for the elementary school in the program. She's already got some awesome ideas that she was bouncing off us already in the 10-minute conversation we had in the auditorium. So I'm excited to see what she has to do with elementary.
Was that her sitting next to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know till the end. But
Okay. Cool.
To add to that, she was the former Macomb County Teacher of the Year. That is not what it's expensive.
Candace?
I just wanted to thank Brian and the central office for getting together this morning's event. Back to school, welcome back it was my first time attending that type of a function, and it was great. Kim Bearden for her great words of wisdom, and I really felt the energy in the room. I think everyone else did, and it was a great morning. Thank you guys for arranging that. I think this
To our new student rep, I'm excited to have you guys back, and thanks to everyone for all the work that is going into tomorrow night for Blue Devil Night. I know it takes a lot to put that on, I'm excited to attend.
Excuse me.
So thanks everybody who's been part of that.
Okay, I attended this morning also, and I just want to thank all the people involved in putting that together. It went very well, very smooth. The staff, everybody seemed in really good spirits. I think they're ready to go. Everybody I talked to said, we're ready. So I welcome them all back, and here we go. Okay, next item on our agenda is our student board reps, and I too wish to welcome Kelsey, is it Kelsey?
Yes.
And Elizabeth is back, so I'm turning it over to you.
This month had a lot of preparation for school and a lot of sports practices for the high school and the middle school. So like football, volleyball, cheer, band, wrestling, youth softball, and FRC. So today, boys soccer won 3-1 against Orlando. I'm sorry. Girls golf had a match at 3 p.m. Boys soccer game, obviously. Girls volleyball quad at 5. And then Tuesday is Blue Devil Night from 5 to 8. You have to get your parking passes, schedules, and any other necessary information. And they're excited to get things rolling.
On Wednesday, we have a boys soccer game at 5 p.m. And we have Tiger cross country relays. On Thursday, we have a boys varsity football game at 7 p.m. Against St. Clair, and that kind of rolls off the football season, so the Blue Devils. And Friday, we have a girls volleyball tournament at 8:30 a.m. Next month's meeting for September will cover more on athletics, as that is when games start to pick up.
Thank you both. Okay, next item on our agenda is superintendent legislative update. Mr. Wilson.
I'm going to start with the legislative update. There's no news on the budget yet, so we are still waiting. Just so the board listening in the audience noted, I think Sandy alluded to it. Tammy and I have had some conversations about our cash flow. Barring some peak in some expense or anything, we believe we're good through November, making payroll. But at some point, we would have to, if we still won't have a budget, we would have to look at borrowing money after that date, but hopefully our legislators will interact together in governor and get it signed into law. This is our first month coming up, September, which we do not receive any state aid payment. We received our last one in August. So every district in the state of Michigan gets no pay in September, with the first one coming in October. When you look at your payroll and your state aid payments, there's usually a cash flow issue, which is why you need a decent fund balance to get you through. So we're monitoring that, watching that very closely, because we don't want to go without paychecks for our employees and so forth. The last time we met, I had said that the House and Senate were meeting on that Tuesday and Wednesday following. They did. On Tuesday the 12th, the Senate Education Committee did not have any discussion on the budget, but they did take up the bill which would limit class sizes to no more than 19 students in a grade K-3 classroom, which is based on research and so forth, the lower class size and so forth. But to make this achievable, it would require a $65 million grant to be established. If this is something that the state wants to do and assist, my position on many as superintendent, then it should just be part of the state budget as a permit, not something that can be taken away 1 year and put back and so forth. It would be applied. Index factors such as the demographics and size of districts would be indicated. There were 4 districts that in this bill would have automatically been identified to automatically receive these grants, and they are Muskegon Heights, Benton Harbor, Flint, and Wayne West. They also took up Senate Bill.
Wait, sorry. So they want to put a law into effect, and certain districts automatically will get money for it, but the rest of us just have to
We'd
figure it out.
have to apply for it,
Okay.
and then based on that grant, they would issue it.
But it's going to be a long while if it goes through.
If it passed, they would say that the class sizes in K-3 can be no more than 19 students.
How would you have space for that?
I was just thinking that too.
Right.
That's a
Just
huge
rooms
concern with
alone.
all
Right,
districts,
rooms
is
alone.
physical space.
Sure.
And
Teachers.
let alone number of teachers. More people are exiting than entering the field, so pretty close to it. Excuse me, the other bill took up was Senate Bill 492, which basically, when a student transfers out of your district, the receiving district would send the former district, hey, can you send Brian's school records, and here's the parent signing off. Basically, the bill would allow us to send those records without a parent's signature. So those were the two top priorities that were coming out of the Senate. In the House, on Wednesday, they took up Senate Bill 349 and 350, which would allow parents or students, or ultimately parents, to opt out of taking the ACT Work Keys test. There's some stipulations. Schools would have to notify parents by December 31st, and parents would have to sign the waiver by February 28th. Those that do not have an opt-out would still be required to take the test. Logistically, this is a nightmare. You have half of your kids showing up to school who have waivers that don't take it, and the other half don't. We have to administer the test, and we got to find something to do for the other half. This is a testing nightmare.
How would it affect, like, don't we have to have a certain percentage take those tests?
This one, that it would become out of the requirement that it would be an in-count certificate. You're just getting information as a parent or student, how your child did in his work. So that's what was taken up in the Senate Education Committee, or the House Education Committee, excuse me.
Brian, who's the head of the House Education Committee?
Put you in the face, keep moving on. Okay, fine. It'll come to you probably later on. That's it from legislative update. District update, just a reminder, I've had a couple of questions about the school calendar. Everything is on the website. There's a general calendar, like a calendar form you can put on your fridge. And there's also the detail that gives like when award ceremonies are, et cetera, when graduation is scheduled to be next year, et cetera. That's all on the website. Reminder, the first day of school is this coming Tuesday for K-12 students. It is a half day of school. Wednesday, September 3rd is the first day of school for our preschool programs, our GSRP and ECSE. It is a full day on Wednesday for K-12 students. Last Thursday, I sent a letter out to families talking that it is available on our website and was posted on our district Facebook page, talking about school supplies, free breakfast, lunch, and also talk about important dates coming up and the November 4th millage. November 4th, Tuesday. As Board Member Fortuna says, we've been striving in putting the basic supplies, pens, pencils, colored crayons. We said we provide those. We do have some families that want to buy them. They're more than welcome to send them, but they're not required to the basic supplies. The one that I wanted to make sure parents knew, we are continuing the breakfast and lunch program through basically September 30th. And at some point, at that point, we're going to have to make a decision whether we're going to continue the free breakfast and the district pay for it, or go back to, if they don't have a budget, of collecting the free reduced lunch applications and only those that are eligible and qualified. You may have heard on the news that Detroit Public Schools has said the whole year. They're a little different ball of wax, if you will. They receive federal funding, which allows them to do that. Most school districts in the state of Michigan, we don't get that funding. So for our families, the month of September is part of last year's budget, so we're going to continue. Cammie and I, with Kathy, our food service director, at some point we have to make an election, if you will, or say what we're going to do. And it's stuck for the year that once you make that. So the other thing I mentioned in the letter was Meet the Teacher Night. Is this coming Tuesday from 5 to 8. Generally it's for parents and students to meet their teachers, support staff, see the building. For high school kids, they're going to see the new furniture. In the elementary, they're going to see the new furniture in the media center. But it's also open to any community member. It's a free dinner by our food service department. Come look at our buildings. They are beautiful. Our custodian staff did a remarkable job putting the buildings together. Come enjoy dinner and see what your tax dollars go. I'm very proud of what we accomplished here in Richmond. So again, that's Tuesday from 5 to 8, which is tomorrow. And then lastly, just reminding everybody about the upcoming millage proposal. There was a flyer that went out shortly after our last board meeting. There should be one hitting the mailboxes this Wednesday, which will focus on the high school. We've got informational tables at each one of our open houses tomorrow. There's a lot of information on the website. Just ask and get the information. And then finally, I do also want to thank my team, Billy, Sarah, Tammy, Sydney, for all the logistics in putting today on. There's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into that, and so I couldn't have done it without it. So it was a really good day. A lot of excitement. So, you also got a picture at your table. I don't want to take Mrs. Manguni's thunder, but they are doing the house system at Lee, so the staff picked their houses. The school year will start with kids picking their houses, so we're going to hear more about that at some later point. They were planning the first day of school to make it the best year ever again. I think they're going to raise the bar from what they did last year, so I'm really excited to see what they're doing. All three buildings, I had the opportunity to visit all three of them today, as well as the transportation department. There was some really cool stuff going on. Very excited. That's it.
Brian, can I ask, go back to what you said about the September 30th and the lunch, and you said something that whatever we decide to do, it has to go through the year. So if we decide that we have to charge, you have to charge all the way through the year, even if they decide to do a budget?
That's kind of the guidance
what you said?
That's what we've been given so far. We have to make an election, if you will, at that point.
We don't have to decide until the budget is in place if they are going to fund the Michigan Meals Program or not, and then we'll have 30 days to make that election. But once we make that election, it's supposed to stay through for the year. But that won't have to happen until after the budget is in place.
So let's say they don't
Okay,
put it in place.
But
I'm sorry,
that's not
go
what
on.
you said though, right? Am I hearing right? So you're saying that if there's no budget by September 30th, so that means we have to decide whether we're going to fund it or parents have to pay. But if we say parents have to pay, then
Let's say
it has to
October
be that way
2nd.
for the year, but you're saying, no, it doesn't have to be that way if they come up with a budget October 12th.
I believe there's a transition period where we can make that election, and there's a transition period that we would have to decide who's going to pay the cost, whether it's on the parents or the district. But while we make that transition, the budget gets in place, yes,
So
we can make that election.
we can
based
wait
on
till that
once the
budget's in
funding-
place?
Right now, we've submitted to continue with the
Right.
free program.
Right.
So until we know otherwise, until there is no free program, that's our plan.
Got it.
If the program goes away, and it's, the Michigan Meals Program goes away, then we would have to make a decision whether it's going to be district paid or parent paid.
But we only through September 30th. By September 30th, you said we have to decide.
September 30th is what's covered under the current budget.
Correct.
Once October 1 hits,
Right.
if there's no budget, we can stay business as usual, but at some point, if they,
Business as usual means we would be paying for it.
well, or we could be running and not knowing who's paying for it.
Okay.
Because we don't, because if they approve the house budget or something similar to that, the house budget says, we're taking that out, putting more money in your per pupil, and as a district, you decide.
You
But
figure.
we're giving it in this way, we're giving you the money. If they approve the Senate budget, the Senate has what we have now this year, where the state pays the breakfast and lunch for all. So we don't know which budget they're going to, or some combination of both. But both budgets right now have funding it. The House gives it up to the board, local district. You decide whether you want to do breakfast or lunch. If you don't want to do free breakfast and lunch, then you can use that money however else you want. So come October 1, we will stay, but we have an uncertainty of who's actually paying for it. That
When the
trans-
time comes, or whenever they get their act.
Correct. And so if they approve a budget October 15th,
Okay.
and we got to make a decision. There could be, I think, a 30-day, was what Kathy said, a 30-day transition. So now it goes to November 15th is our transition. From October 1 to November 15th, what we don't know is who's paying for that. Is that going to have to come out of a district, and then October or November 15th?
Because it
The
could,
state-
if they decide not to do it, then we're.
That's the
paying.
uncertainty.
Okay.
But I can say right now, we are free breakfast and lunch for all students through September 30th, because that's from last year's budget.
Okay.
So will we get numbers before we have to make a decision? You'll tell us how much that gap would be if we had to, because if we have to vote on it, I imagine we have to give parents notice anyway, right? We're not just going to say, hey, starting tomorrow, it's not covered.
And that's why I said, I believe right now it's 30 days with what guidance we have. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that we have a whole lot of guidance
Right.
right now, but we have to have 30-day notice. So at that point, from the time the board would act, depending on what's good, we're going to have 30 days that we got to notify parents. The challenge is they still want us to collect, it's not.
So forms.
They
It's a different
The
form.
free-
They call it a different form, but it's like the free and reduced form. They still want, but when you're getting free breakfast and lunch, the number of forms being
Right.
turned in
Right.
isn't there.
Is down.
Oh, yeah.
And those
Right.
forms have typically in the past dictated all your grant dollars. or
Right. Correct.
Had a bearing.
Right.
So our hope is they get a budget real soon, at least a school aid budget, and we at least have know what direction.
Do they have a date when they are required to have a budget?
If they don't do it by September 30th, the state will shut down.
And if you remember, this is years ago, I'm dating myself, Calcasas was the school that closed early
I remember
because the
that.
state ran out of money, and they said, well, then we're not going to school, and they closed, I think, April. And they said, then fund us, if you want us to stay open, fund us. And that year was a very short year. Yeah.
Yeah.
High school at
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, your mom was at that high school,
Yeah, she's
right?
a senior that year.
So I'm hoping it's not, and I don't want to sound the panic alarm, but they had a June 30th deadline. They passed it. They've elected not to come in over the summer.
Except
They-
talk about cell phones.
Yes.
And they just met, and this was the priority in both houses. You're starting to see some radio info and some stuff on social media kind of pushing one side or the other, but Tammy and I have worked on where Tammy's done it, but we've run 2 scenario budgets for you that shows if they approve the house, where are we at with all the new hires, projected insurance plans that they would have covered, people who've left us, retired, and so forth, and then we ran one on the Senate side. So it's, we have that ready to go, so we have to make an
Are
amendment.
they,
but
are
it's,
they far apart?
Yeah, the Senate is, the House is the one, they get rid of all the categoricals and just kind of give you the money and raise the per pupil and so forth. That is our expenditures, our revenue exceeds our expenditures by 800,000. It's a large number, but they also take away the structural reduction in retirement costs that they just put in, that was supposed to take away starting October 1. So now that cost comes back to us, which is $600,000. The Senate has our expenses exceeding our revenue about $150,000. Again, we don't have it all washed out, but we started planning. What worries me on the House is, number one, the legislative reduction in our cost for retirement goes away. So we automatically have a new $600,000 expense. And are they giving you all the money up front so that next year there's, remember, we didn't get an increase last year. No public schools in the state of Michigan other than charter schools got an increase last year. So we were flat for a year.
Well, and you also have to really pay attention. There was a story, again, this evening that I was yelling at the TV, talking all about the roads, People in Michigan need good roads, but to heck with the school aid.
Education.
You got a governor that, she's big on those roads, she wants that money, and so to heck with the school aid, she wants her catapult into the Stratosphere, and she wants to ride it on the roads, and the school aid budget money is going to be the victim of that. You just watch both sides, and it is
You're
both sides.
going to have
Well,
more
you
colleges and universities.
Just read it and watch it, it's, you know.
But it's funny.
There's more talk about the stupid roads than it is the fact that school districts don't have a budget and there's no money. It's incredible to watch.
Yet I saw a clip, a video clip that she did about the free breakfast and lunch and how our kids need it, and it's a good thing, and I'm like, okay, so we're saying one thing, but we're really not doing it on the other hand, as far as talking the budget, and let's get it in place so we know.
That's politics.
But from our district and a positive, we are in good shape. We have, this board's decision over the last 6-7 years to put money in there and be very fiscally responsible, even putting us money aside for future purchases, like laptops, we did it this year. We started tapping into that. The turf, when that is fully funded, we'll have the money to replace that turf when we need it. Buses, they're on the agenda, you're approving another bus, that's from that set aside of the money, so we're in good shape as a district.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, next item on our agenda is our items of interest from the board. Danielle?
I just want to say, I obviously wasn't here last week, but I took a minute to watch the recordings and all the SBG things from last week. My school as well is switching to SBG this year. It's not a continuation, it's brand new for us. And I'm not 1,000% convinced either. I'm not going to lie. I'm right there with Miss Morella, how she was saying that, she struggled with it at first. I'm still not convinced, and I have to do it this year. And I see so many weaknesses. I can't, even as a math teacher, I can't wrap my brain around it. I can see the reasons why it would be good to know all the smaller pieces of where students are lacking. But just like I think Candace and Sarah were mentioning about having opinion, what's opinion, or like
Subjective.
So yeah, being subjective as opposed to objective. There's a lot of subjectivity in SBG from what I've been learning, having to teach it this year, or having to grade that way this year, and just hearing others' experiences. I'm struggling with it as well. And I see 1,000% that there needs to be, yes, our scores are going up at the high school, but they could maybe go up even more, skyrocket even more if we took the time to make that better transition, especially 7th and 8th grade, because it's like a foreign language. It's like a foreign language to us as adults. I can't imagine as a student trying to comprehend that shift that you've been raised from kindergarten all the way up, and now all of a sudden it's completely different. It's night and day. And I mean, I can't do it as an adult, and I think we're doing the kids a disservice. We could have even higher, better gains if we, in my opinion, if we had a better transition for that 7th and 8th grade. So that's my 2 cents from having watched it and missed last week.
Thank you.
Yep.
Candace?
I don't have anything new other than, I was disappointed in the direction of where that conversation went. It got a little bit uncomfortable quickly, and by no means was it supposed to. There were other points that I had that I wanted to make, but it kind of didn't go that way. So I am still trying to figure out a way to maybe bring this back up again, or meet privately with maybe Billy and get some more questions answered. But then I am going to give a heads up now. I mean, whatever answers I get, I will share, because I do feel that should be public knowledge, whatever I get. So, I mean, there's just a few more other questions that kind of got sidetracked, and I mean, it was what it was. But, and I do genuinely appreciate you guys taking the time on that.
that was nice.
Thank you. Sarah?
Nothing.
Margaret?
Nothing.
Okay, the only thing that I have is I sent everybody a copy of a letter that I had generated to send to our governor regarding the budget. So I just need to know if as a board, are you willing or are you okay, or if I sign it from the board or I sign it, or if you want to sign it individually, was there any changes to the letter? I'm going to send it out, even if it's just my name on it. I know Sandy got a hold of me and she said she was fine. I heard from Margaret, she said she was fine. Any comments, Sarah, or your thought, Candace?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I like the questions you raised.
Okay. Okay, the only one that Margaret kind of brought to my attention is the one about, what do we tell parents about the paraprofessionals? So I guess the question I had for you, Mr. Walmsley, is did we bring anybody back based upon the
No,
budget?
it was, you said about laying off teachers, and I said we weren't laying teachers and parapros off.
Oh, got
I said
it.
Pull
Well,
that
did
part
we
out.
or no?
We
So
didn't
we
have to lay
issued-
people off from a financial point of view. That's what my thing is.
That is correct. We didn't lay off from a finance. It was more on the
Okay.
staffing.
Okay, so I need to take that part out.
And just so you know, everybody on layoff has either been recalled back to, or accepted another position, or just declined it because they've gotten another job, or chose not to. So, yeah, we have a layoff list, but they're all not working. in some fashion.
I just think a sentence in this letter that really hit me tonight, as you talked about preparing two different budgets. I put in here, plus quite frankly, the time wasted by the administration and board on developing a budget just to redo the budget when the state finally deems it necessary to provide one. I mean, I just think of the time that's wasted and across the state of our districts, not having a budget to work with and where to go. I don't know. That upsets me. Okay, so any other suggestions or changes to the letter? Okay, so if I put all our names on it, we're good? And then I will make sure I touch, I know Sandy's good, I just need to touch base with her, right?
I don't know how well you're going to be able to touch base with him, because isn't he doing something
He's up in
Military.
Military-wise.
military-wise? So I don't know why you can't just sign it,
The
President on behalf of the
Richmond Board of Ed.
and just
Okay,
leave it like
that's
that.
what I'll
Already
do.
a majority.
I think that's,
Okay,
I think
that's what I will
good.
do.
And thank you for doing that, because that was gonna be my items of interest about us putting some kind of letter together. So I appreciate that you went ahead and did that for us.
You're welcome. I just thought it needs to be said.
It does need to be signed.
Okay, that's all that I had. Next item on our agenda is our public comments since the last board meeting. We did receive one email as a board. I know all of you received it. It was from a parent regarding a schools of choice. I addressed it with Mr. Walmsley, and I know that he addressed it with the parent, so it was handled. There were no public comments at our meeting, so there's nothing we need to address there. At this time, any member of the public may address the board. Please sign in and state your name. You'll have 3 minutes to address the board. Are there any public comments?
Not tonight.
Thank you very much. Okay, our next item on our agenda is our action items. So I am looking for a motion for the approval of a school bus.
I move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the purchase of one school bus from Midwest Transit for a total not to exceed $151,113 as outlined in the attached documentation, for which funding transferred from the general fund to the non-bond capital projects fund is authorized.
Do I have support?
Support.
Any discussion?
I just want to point out to the board and listening audience, this is a bus that's here prior to tariffs.
Say it again?
This is a bus that's in the inventory prior to tariffs. The next bus that we purchase could be 25% more depending on tariffs. We got lucky getting this in now and not having to pay 25%.
So our buses, or any buses, they're not made here in the United States?
They are.
They are.
Kind of assembled parts.
Oh.
So all of those parts
Parts
and all
are
that
coming
were
from somewhere.
pre-tariffs.
Got it.
So we just, when we think budget, those are the things we're thinking about for future, what's it gonna be like? 25% on $150,000 is a lot of money.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, this is a roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Danielle?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion carries. We're looking for a motion for the approval of kitchen shelves.
I move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve the purchase of kitchen shelving at Richmond Middle School and Richmond High School from Great Lakes Hotel Supply for a total not to exceed $15,947.96, as outlined in the attached documentation, for which funding from the 2025-2026 food service fund is authorized.
Do I have, thank you, Sarah. Any discussion? Being no discussion, this is a roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Danielle?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion carries. Looking for a motion for the approval of emergency parking lot and loading dock repairs.
I move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve payment to Off Construction, the company contracted by the district for the bond work, for an amount not to exceed $30,308 for the repairs completed by Portis Brothers Trucking and Excavating at Willelly Elementary front parking lot and the loading dock at Richmond Middle School, as outlined in the attached documentation, for which funding is authorized.
Support.
This was that you?
Yes.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being no discussion, this is a roll call vote. Margaret?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Danielle?
Aye.
I vote aye, motion carries. Looking for a motion for the approval of board members to attend the Michigan School Board Association Conference.
Who's going?
As of the last meeting, it was just Candace and I.
And Board Member Fortuna sent me an email that she could not go.
So it's just you two?
Danielle?
I saw that on the recording and I forgot to vote.
It is 23rd through 26th
Yeah.
of October.
That's the evening of the 23rd?
That's that Thursday, I believe,
Yeah.
is the evening, and then it goes into Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I can do that one.
Yes.
Yes?
Okay. I
Very
move
good.
to
So-
approve the registration, lodging, meals, and mileage for board members Cunningham, Michon, and Sutton to attend the Michigan School Board Association Conference on October 23rd through 26th, 2025, at the Grand Traverse Resort in Acme, Michigan, as outlined in the attached documentation.
Do I have support? Support. Thank you. Any discussion?
I would just add that now that we know who's going, at a future meeting, we'll talk about the delegates and how the board wants to vote on anything that's going to be on that
That delegate list.
Did you get that stuff yet?
I have not.
So when that
And I've been
comes-
looking. So I'm figuring, I don't know, maybe the end of
But now that we know
September.
who's going, then.
The end of September. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Being no further business, the board will adjourn at 7:45.